Welcome, Crusader fans, to another edition of the Valpo Coaches Show, brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me today, volleyball head coach Carin Avery. Carin, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Middle of league play for you guys, some ups and some downs in there. One of the highlights, though, of the start of league play last weekend against Oakland, senior Morgan Bile reaching her 1,000th career kill, just the 13th player in Valpo history. Just someone who kind of goes about her job quietly. Maybe you don't, not the flashiest player, but someone who's been consistent over her 4 years here. What has she meant to your program throughout her career?
You actually said it perfectly. Her consistency, for sure, has been instrumental in our success in the last 4 years. There's a lot of players who, have a lot of kills, or who, we've had 12 other players reach 1,000 kills, but for her to reach 1,000 kills and be, I think, ranked 2, maybe 1-2 in hitting percentage for 4 years.
Yeah, she's right around the top there.
Is she? Yeah, that's unbelievable, I think. And again, you said it. It's not only her consistency, but the way she goes about it. It was really funny when she broke the record last weekend against Youngstown. I had no idea. I literally had no idea. I knew she was having a great game, but she just does it so quietly and so unassuming sometimes that you don't realize how great she's actually playing. And now we're so used to Morgan getting her kills and being so consistent. She kind of always slides in and under the radar for us. And that has been, like I said, that has been the greatest asset for us with her consistency over the 4 years. And especially this year with so many youngsters playing behind her, they can really look up to Morgan, and she's a great leader by example, and they see her getting it done on a day-to-day basis, and they want to do the same. And so that's been a key, I think, for our success this year, is her consistency and stability.
Yeah, that record you referenced, Youngstown State 2 weekends back, for a 4-set match, shattered the previous hitting percentage record, hitting over 700 for the match. So a couple of very good weeks, a couple milestones for Morgan. Now let's go back. Last weekend's matches, kind of a tale of two matches it looked like. You mentioned your quote after Friday night's match against Oakland, really focused on the serve and pass game being the difference, and obviously having lost that match, I think we came out on the short end of that. What specifically was it? What happened there that led to the loss? And then how did you guys turn it around so quickly for the match against Wright State, which was so much better a sweep for you guys?
Well, first of all, I give Oakland a lot of credit. I thought they played outstanding volleyball. They really did. If you watched that match, or if you were there, they really played great, defensively, blocking, offensively. And sometimes in competition that happens. The other team is just better than you on that day. And I thought for sure that was the case a little bit. But the problem was, if you looked at the stat sheet, you'd see that we were the same in kills, the same in attack errors, the same in attempts, the same in digs. And then you go over to the receiving category, serve receive category, and the serving error category, and we had 18 total in those two, between those two stats. And again, you lose 3 games by 4 or 5 points, there's your game. And honestly, we were the same in every stat except those two. And honestly, we say it all the time, the team who usually wins a serve pass game, is going to win because they're in tempo more, they have more offensive attackers. So it was very disappointing. I did think they served the ball really well. They had probably 3 or 4 of those aces were balls that hit the net and dribbled over, but there was nothing we could do about them. And that kind of gives you momentum. And it shows that they were serving really aggressive and they were able to take risks. And, when we weren't. And there's kind of the same thing on the receiving end of the serve, is that I thought we were, didn't really attack the ball very well in serve receive. And it looked like we really didn't want to pass the ball. And when you play timid like that, not very many good things are going to happen with the ball. So that was very disappointing. But, like I said, we didn't play awful. I thought they played outstanding, and that was the difference. And we did come back against Wright State, and we served and passed much better. Serving is a lot mental. I mean, you learn how to serve when you're in 7th grade, and it is. You go back there, and it's an individual thing, and you just have to take care of the ball. And so hopefully we learned a good lesson from that.
Well, you bounced back against Wright State with the win, and a couple other maybe surprising results from Saturday as well. Both Oakland and Milwaukee get swept. So now you guys are still just 1 game out of the loss column of first place. I know you've mentioned before about the parity in the league and how you have to be ready to play on every night, and it sounds kind of rote, but then you see results like that, especially UIC went up to Oakland, swept them, the same UIC team that's coming in Friday night. I think it just reinforces the fact you really do, and it gives you evidence. You can show your girls, hey, I'm not just saying you have to be ready to play every night. this is what can happen if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we sat down here the first, interview we did, and I said it is going to be an interesting year, and it's proven that. And everybody, the top two have one loss, we have two losses, a couple other teams have two losses and three losses. So the top six, we're all kind of shoved in a little bubble right now, and anything could happen. Sixth place team right now could be first by the end of the conference season. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of parity, a lot of different stuff's going to happen. Talking to a lot of other conference coaches, we just all want to make the top six, really. Obviously you want to focus on winning the tournament and hosting, but when everything comes down to it, the team that's going to the NCAA tournament is the team that's the best on that weekend in November. So honestly, we are really trying to focus on kind of getting to the top to get good matchups, and we're not really worried about winning it right now. We're really worried about getting in it at this point. And again, that's kind of fun. It's been fun. We do talk about taking care of business at home in the conference. Our two losses have been on the road, and to the first place preseason pick and the third place right behind us by 1 point. So it's not like we had two bad losses so far. And like I said, they were both on the road. So we're excited to be back home this weekend against UIC, and we'll get a chance to play both of them again at our place. So we're excited to see where the rest of the conference season goes.
Yeah, that UIC match Friday night at the Arc at 7 o'clock. You also have then a couple non-league matches after that. North Dakota State Sunday night at 6, then you go on the road Chicago State Tuesday evening. You're coming up on the milestone again, and I know it's really not the focus of the team right now. You're focusing on league play. But I'd be remiss not to point out you entered the weekend with 17 wins. Obviously can reach that 20-win milestone as soon as Tuesday night. How important is it, just taking a step back for the program over the past decade, to look at the teams nationwide that have been able to win 20 or more every single year since 2002 and have it be a 10-team list and you're one of the 10 programs?
I look at it and I laugh because, it's Hawaii, Nebraska, Penn State, and then Valpo. So it is kind of funny when you look at the perennial powerhouses that are in there. What it shows about our program is that I think that we recruit the right type of kids who believe in our philosophy here, and they're willing to be a part of it. And like I said, we've had some great preseason tournaments. We've had some injuries, and we've been able to somehow kind of overcome all that and still win. And it goes to show a lot about, I think, where this program's, come from, and the mentors. I mean, you can go way back to the, when we started here in 2002, and that's, we started a philosophy then, and we've kind of kept going with it. And the leadership over the last, however many years, 12 years that we've done this has been unbelievable. And like I said, it's not so much, I don't think, the X's and O's, but it's the kids in the program and them believing, like I said, in the philosophy here, and and just sticking with it. So I think it's an amazing accomplishment, and I'm really proud of it.
Well, Crusader fans can see this year's team start to get hopefully a couple steps closer to that 20-win mark. As I mentioned, Friday evening, closing out the first half of league play against UIC. Sunday evening, here at home, against North Dakota State in non-league play. Coach Avery, good luck this weekend. Hopefully you get a couple wins, get some momentum heading into the second half of league play.
Thank you.
You can follow the volleyball team on social media, on Twitter at VU_VB, on Facebook, Valparaiso University Volleyball Team. For all your athletics news, Valpo Athletics on Facebook and at Valpo Athletics on Twitter. Until next time, this has been the Valpo Coaches Show, brought to you by the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. I'm Aaron Levitt, and go Crusaders.